There we go.
Hey guys, thank you for joining the X and O's with Xtra Mile. We are honored and privileged to have all you guys join us today. We are so grateful to be able to launch our podcast and to be able to have our guest with Phoenix Aaron to join us. And he's been a huge support with our podcast and getting it launched with our software, getting us comfortable and familiar with the system and how it works, and we're grateful for that. And he's been a huge help and basically support behind the scenes and continues to support us, and we're so grateful for that. So thank you, Aaron, for doing what you do and what you've done for us so far. So it's been an honor to be able to work with you, and we obviously consider a dear friend. So we appreciate that, and thank you for what you do for the detail community. Thank you.
Thank you.
My absolute pleasure. Absolutely. I'm grateful to be here. I know that Eileen will be with me shortly. I am Aaron from Phoenix EOD. She is Eileen from So Clean Detailing. And together we are the Curmudgeon's Corner that you can find twice a month on our podcast.
You got me mid-chew. Hey, guys.
Eileen, our another wonderful person. If you have not had the chance, Eileen is also along with Aaron, and they provide an incredible podcast. Each month they have 2 different episodes, and they're basically incredible. They're awesome. They gain just a great group of audience along with the guests that they have on. They do so much and they give back and being part of the detail community. And we really appreciate all that they do for us and those that are out there. So thank you, and definitely go follow. We'll talk at the end with Eileen as well. She does incredible detail work out in the Palm Springs area in California. She's out in the heat along with myself in the Phoenix area. So we appreciate and admire her hard work and dedication and what she does. So definitely keep an eye and watch and look at these 2 individuals because they do some amazing things. So but real quick, we wanted to jump on and really this is really the start and kickoff of the podcast. And again, as we said, we really appreciate those that are joining and supporting us as we get this kicked off. And we were just on with Aaron and Eileen, and we appreciate their time and energy for allowing us to be on for the first hour. And we're honored to have them join us on our first kickoff. So, but I also want to not be the one that's running the thing all the time. So we have awesome hosts along with me that's going to be kicking and launching this wonderful podcast off. And I'm honored to have both of them, that they are going to bring so much to the podcast in 2 different directions and 2 different avenues and experience and all the stuff that we're going to need to be able to share with other detailers. And being able to communicate and work with suppliers and all the different things that we plan on doing with the podcast. So we're honored and thankful for being able to have both Christine and Tyler with us on the podcast. So I will just kind of introduce myself a little bit, and then we'll move on to our next host so that they can kind of give you a little rundown and experience of who they are, so they know and people can kind of get familiar with each other. Again, I'm Matt Ayers. I'm with Xtra Mile Mobile Detailing. I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona. I have been in the detail community. It's been a while, 17, almost 18 years that I have been doing strictly mobile detailing out of the Phoenix area. And it has been an honor to be able to detail. I love it. It's been fun. And it's been an experience. I mean, I think with detailing, you have your challenges and you have your rewarding moments. And I think that's the part of detailing that makes it interesting and fun. So my background, I actually was in the corporate world for many years. And once deciding that I wanted to leave that corporate world, and that's when I initially started the detail community and the detail company of Xtra Mile. I was in the education field for almost 15 years. And then I was in sales and marketing for quite a bit of time as well. So I've had my share of the corporate and being able to be affiliated and worked with many great people outside the detail community. And now I have met some incredible people and continue to meet credible people in the detail community, and the support and the love that's out in the detail community is absolutely amazing. I know we touched on it a little bit in the previous with Aaron and Eileen, and it's amazing how much support, and really the community is such a small but big and tight network when you're working with those individual detailers. So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of move on and let these other hosts kind of talk and introduce themselves a little bit. And I want to see, I feel like this picture is not the best. Again, bear with me. I'm not the best at, let's see if that works a little bit better. I don't know if that's Aaron. Aaron's the pro at this, so I'm learning as I go.
Yeah, exactly. You just jump in. Just jump in.
Yeah.
You know, by this time, hopefully everybody's on to their second glass of apple juice.
Yes.
And who cares?
We're all blurry anyway.
Yeah. I think you look like a ghost, and I love
it. So we're gonna jump on. So we're gonna roll, and then we'll get into a little bit more. But let's move to our next host that's going to be joining and bringing our incredible experience to the podcast and knowledge and things. We're going to have Christine join and have her share a little bit about her background and really how she got into the detailing. And I can even get back into that. I didn't do too much about getting into it, but really how she got into it and what she does and what she likes to do and what she hopes to do with the detail community. So we'll give the floor to her and let her speak.
Okay. So I'm Christy Torres. I am not a full-time detailer. I teach full-time. I teach 8th grade English, and I also do the yearbook. I've been teaching for going on 14 years now, so that is my first love. And I found detailing during COVID. I'm a mom of 4. I was never into YouTube, but my kids were. And jumping out of my skin. I suffer from intense anxiety. So I was jumping out of my skin during that time, and I started watching YouTube and just found detailing in my feed all of a sudden. I'm not even sure how. And I realized how calm it made me. I realized that I was able to just kind of lose myself and watching, Pan the organizer detail an entire car and just feel completely at ease while he was doing it. So that is kind of how I found detailing. During that time, I got my hands on whatever I could and started doing my own car, my family's car, if they would let me come close to them, or at least to their driveway, and it just kind of took off from there. I do detail now a little bit for money. It's obviously not an everyday thing. On the weekends when I can, never hurts to put a little extra green in your pocket, especially during this time. Kids are expensive, but really I'm a lifelong learner. I am not a professional. I am your, extreme enthusiast or your weekend warrior. Call it what you will. I love it. It is a passion of mine. It's more than a hobby, and I just want to learn and continue learning. I do continue to watch YouTube and everybody's videos. I just want to get my hands into every part of it and just continue to get better, strive to be a better me every day. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. And you know what? I have, Aaron asked the question and I will share it again. I think one of the questions was, how did we collaborate? How did we get together? Tyler and Christine and I, how did we figure this out? And, Tyler, and I'll let Tyler talk about himself as well and kind of introduce himself. But I've known Tyler for some time, and Christine, I've just been observing and watching her YouTube channel and her products and things that she does, and was just extremely impressed the fact of the time and energy and the quality that she does when it comes to detailing. Also, the fact that she also holds a full-time job, as she had mentioned earlier, teaching. She maintains a family and her kids, and it's just extremely impressive when you can multitask and be sufficient in doing the things that she does. And it was very, very attractive to the fact that I think she could bring so much to the podcast, and it's honored, and I appreciate her and her time and her energy that she's willing to donate and to bring on to the podcast. And we're excited because I think it's going to be an amazing experience. And I think things are going to be great. So, but with that said, we're going to roll over to Tyler and let him kind of introduce himself. A little talk about Tyler and how he got into the detailing and a little bit about his background.
Your mic's off. Your mic's off.
There you go.
My name is Tyler Quire. So out of high school, I graduated in 2001, not to age myself, but During that time, I was going on the path of aviation. I was learning to fly. I worked a local line out at one of our smaller airports here. I was learning to fly and that kind of thing. And out there, we washed airplanes as part of our job. So just kind of learning to wash airplanes, use some of the tools, burning through a bunch of paint using rotaries. That got my interest peaked. And then fast forward to 9/11, that changed the aviation industry a lot. And I realized I needed to do something else with my life because the industry went to a standstill. And I wasn't willing to wait it out and wanted to move on. So I somehow got into public safety, and I've been a firefighter for a little over 17 years. So I'll be doing that a few more years. Along the way, I always like to keep vehicles clean, that kind of thing. And then probably 2015, somewhere in there, neighbors in the neighborhood would see me and, oh, you want to do my car? And next thing you know, I'm advertising in the neighborhood groups and doing, not really a business, but doing vehicles side. And in about probably 2018, I decided, okay, I'm going to move forward with this a little. I didn't open an LLC, started my business. It used to be straight off the lot, mobile detailing. Like Matt, I was mobile. And through that process, I actually met Matt buying some equipment. And from there, we formed a really good friendship and we have worked together many, many times. And he's kind of guided me along the way in my journey. And I was running, I used to say, a full-time, part-time business up until last year, and it just got to be too much. So I stepped back with that, and now been more as a hobby, and I help out when I can. But my focus right now is obviously the fire department, and then I have a family as well. I'm married and have a high school daughter and a almost school age daughter. So that keeps me really busy and had to give. And unfortunately, I wasn't in a position with my full-time career to step away from it because I have so much time invested in it already. And here we are today. I'm super excited to be part of this journey. Hopefully, what I would like to bring to the table is letting people know that detailing is for everybody. I know when I started, I was super intimidated and I didn't know where to begin. And now over the time of running the business, I got more confidence and realized that at the end of the day, we're just cleaning cars. I mean, there is a lot of intricacies, but sometimes I think we overcomplicate. By the time I was done, I was into ceramic coatings and running machines and doing the whole thing. When I first started, I was much more hesitant, didn't have the confidence I needed. So hopefully along the way, we can get people to get moving if that's what they want to do, and show them that everybody's welcome and everybody can do this.
Sweet. No, it's awesome. Tyler has, I was able to meet Tyler many years ago, and the opportunity to be able to meet through just exchanging the fact of detail products, and was able to be able to meet him, and the fact that he was looking for products and doing the detailing side of things. So that's how we initially met here in Phoenix. And at that point, we continued to just communicate, and I knew that he was wanting to get in the detail community, and I really liked his thought process and the fact of what he was looking to do. And at that time, we just continued to work together. As he had mentioned, he had started his detailing company for a while, and continued to work together and share and work together when it came to companies. And now Tyler is able to help me when he's not, unfortunately, at the station fighting the craziness. So it's been an honor. Tyler's been a great friend.
Yeah, Matt's an amazing friend, and he's a mentor to me throughout this whole process. So, I mean, I can't speak highly enough about him.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been awesome. We look forward to an incredible venture. I think it's going to be awesome in the fact that we're going to be able to meet so many cool people. There's so many awesome people that are out there that are supporting, that are anxious and to hear and to see, and the things that we're going to do. And it's awesome to have the support in the family and the community to support us as we get better and continue to launch this. As today is, like we mentioned, is our first time, and really just wanted to kind of get to know who we were and talk about some of the things that we plan on doing and what we want to do as a podcast. I think there's so many different people and different avenues and different things that you can do when it comes to podcasts and being able to share with those individuals. So we're looking forward to spending that time. And that being said, we have two incredible people with us that have been nothing but support, Eileen and Aaron. It's been an honor to continue to work with you. I've been blessed to be able to be on their show and their podcast numerous times, and it's been nothing but an incredible experience. They've been nothing but respectful and helpful, and it's awesome to have that community and that family that you can rely on, fall back on when you need that support. And definitely both of them have been there. It's awesome to see. These guys are, I mean, if you haven't seen, but definitely should go watch and see and check Eileen's pages on her YouTube page, her Instagram. She is absolutely amazing. Her work ethic, her desire to work, her results. It really is incredible to watch someone, and she kills it. And it's not just that she's doing it solo. That's what blows me away, is that she can continue to do the things that she's doing solo and fighting the heat on top of doing her favorite thing, which I'll let her know, her favorite job. And what we found out last time, Christine, what did she say her favorite job was again?
Interiors. Really, really gross interiors. Lots of dog hair, a little bit of vomit.
I thought
what did she say she likes to polish on the top of the roof?
Recreational vehicles?
Recreation.
I didn't say it, Eileen. I didn't say it.
Oh,
Eileen, you need a safe word.
I'm sweating, guys.
That's just the heat stroke from earlier today.
Oh,
You know, when you get on top of those recreational vehicles, you're closer to the sun.
Oh, recreational vehicles, right? All I hear is that first part.
it's so funny. It's funny. She cringes as well as I cringe. That's always been something that is. Boats are kind of right underneath there, depending on the boats. And I've had my share that can be really challenging too. That depending on how long the water and hard water and the algae's been milling on the bottom of the boat, it can be a fun experience. So
well, the problem with the two initials we won't mention is everyone just says, oh, it just needs to coat of wax, but we all know that is not what it really needs. It's like running your hand on a chalkboard, and they think wax is gonna magically, and we all know that's not the case.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. I did not go and do an actual physical inspection of an RV once, and I just went based off of the customer, just like, it's a 40-foot boat, it's a 40-foot RV, like, you're good. It just needs a wash and like just a quick layer of wax. And I was like, okay. I quoted it as such, and then when I got there, I was like,
oh Lord,
this needs more than just RV, just wax. Like, it needs like
one of those jobs where you wanna walk away halfway through, but you can't because you're already
I can't, exactly. So after that, I'm like, from now on, I'm doing test spots. I'm like seeing the customer. I'm like, this is what it looks like with just wax. This is what it looks like if I remove the oxidation. Like, it's a whole thing now.
Yeah. That's like when you ask somebody the condition of the vehicle and they say, oh, it's not that bad.
Oh,
it's always that bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
I learned that the hard way too. It's not that bad. Oh my God.
The favorite line of pet hair is oh, I've only had my dog in the car one time and I only have a little bit of hair. Not bad.
Lies.
You get there and there's 3 pounds of hair all over the floor.
She doesn't shed.
Yeah, dog doesn't shed.
They didn't mention that it was 3 huskies that they put in there for 5 minutes.
Oh,
and it's like so a whole funny snow globe when you're driving it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that is too funny. That is definitely the challenge. It's always no matter what you do, unless, and for me, I speak, but I don't know about Eileen. How do you go about, like, I will have a series of questions. It's almost a script of questions that I go through on a new client. Even some existing clients, depending if they're wanting a full detail, what I normally done, maybe just maintenance, to really kind of get to understand the job or understand the car condition and the things that they want done, so that I'm aware and preparing for it, obviously. So I'm not getting there and being in this wide open eyes looking as big as softballs, like, what did I just get myself into? But a lot of people, I know a lot of people will spend time going and looking at these jobs, doing more consultation and looking at these cars and things like that. For me, I've never been able to do, maybe very few, but is that something you do, Eileen? For me, it's just time. I don't have the time to do it because it's like all that energy going and trying to travel all over. How do you handle yours?
So for a car ceramic coating, I usually will do it over the phone because I don't have time to go in person. But for a big job like an RV or a boat, I have to make the time to do it because there's so many factors involved in it. And you really, like you said, you really need to get an idea from the customer exactly what they want and what result they're looking for and what you can do to give them that. And also, I feel like the conversation in terms of pricing goes a little better when it's in person than over the phone. So like if I tell a customer like, oh, an RV, it can be anywhere between, $1,000 to $2,500. And then they're like, holy shit, forget it. But if I'm there and I'm like, okay, if I do this step, this will cost you $1,000. If I do this is the result that will cost you $2,000, and then I can go through it and they can see it and go, okay, yeah, you know what? This is the result I'm looking for. And it's easy to just make the decision right there.
Eileen, not to interrupt you, do you ever find, because I know I dealt with this in my business and this is kind of why I stopped. For one, well, pictures don't really work because they're going to send you their best, worst pictures. So you can't, that never works. But did you ever run into, you call somebody and they say, oh, can you come take a look? You take a look. You spend all this time over there talking to them, trying to sell it. And then you go home and you never hear from them. Do you run into that or no?
No. I usually not when I'm in person. And when I'm in person, it's usually they're really serious about getting the job done, and I usually don't take no for an answer. I'm not leaving there without something, But over the phone, it happens. Yeah, it happens all the time over the phone.
Sure. Yeah. Because it just seems
people are like, oh, I have a 2000 whatever Tacoma. I want to get this, that, and the other done. Like, how much does it cost? Like, I give them the price, and they're like, okay. I had one the other day where he's like, I got to get an oil change and like some other stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you never. I'll never hear from him again.
Oh. You ever get the hey, if you do a good job, then if you do a good job, you need all my friends.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I tell them it's the same price.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not changing the price. The only time I will like give a little bit of a discount is if I have a customer that's like, I want you to do my truck, but then I also have a car and something else. Can you do all three of them? And then I'm like, okay, then I'll give them a little bit of a discount because I'd rather get all three and lose a little bit of money than just do the one and lose all of that other,
That's a good question. This is a question I have brought up to many detailers. Tyler and I have had this conversation. I think it's funny. And Aaron, I think you can add to it. I just put it together with different aspects of just in general life, from buying and selling. What's funny to me is when people say, and I get it often, just like any other detailer, is, hey, can you get a better deal if I do 3 cars instead of 2 cars? And I sit back and I just think, okay, well, yeah, I could probably give you somewhat of a discount. But when you start thinking about it, I'm like, okay, let's consider your time. Let's consider your products. Let's consider your everything that goes involved in doing it. So you eventually wanting me to do a car for free. And that's the hard thing for me. It's like, dude, I still got to compensate my energy, my time, my chemicals. So how do you balance that? I mean, for me, I try to compensate a little bit, but I also, you've got to, your time and money and everything that goes involved is worth something.
Yeah. So, for example, I just had a customer that called me and he wanted to do an in-person quote. And so when he first called me, he told me, I have a car and a truck that I want to get washed. It was just a wash. And I'm like, I don't usually like waste my time, but I don't want to say waste my time, but like, I don't usually go out for an in-person quote for just a basic detail of 2 cars. So, but the way he was talking to me, it sounded like he wanted more. So I figured, whatever, I'll go out there. And so eventually he wanted his car, his truck, and RV that we won't talk about. He had all 3 that he wanted to not just get washed, but he wanted them ceramic coated as well. And so what I did for him was I gave him the quote as it was for all 3 without discounts, nothing. And so he came back to me and asked me, well, what if I had to do all 3? And so what I did was I just knocked off like 10 to 15% off of each of the vehicles, which ended up being probably about $300-400.
Okay.
Which for me wasn't a big deal, because
Sure.
I knew that if I had knocked it out of the park for him, he would become an advocate for me eventually
Absolutely.
down the line. So I wasn't going to let the price be like the breaking point for him. So
Gotcha.
if I was to throw him like, okay, $300 off, like that wouldn't be such a big deal for me, but it clearly was a big deal for him to do that. So that's what I did. But I'm definitely not giving discounts enough to where like they're getting a car for free. Not
Gotcha.
doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
No,
fair
I
enough.
understand that. I just
Hey, Matt,
sometimes go
sorry,
ahead.
I didn't mean. There was a question that popped up. I didn't know if you saw it. I didn't mean to change gears too much, but I was going to maybe see if we could answer. Steve Pearson was asking about what we essentially. Let's see if I can find the question.
Your day job. He's basically said, "Is what lessons have you learned in your day job that has impacted your detailing or your career now?"
I think, and if I'm going to go ahead and jump in on this, I think for me, the biggest thing is just how to talk to people and communicate with them. Because in my line of work, I meet all kinds of people in all kinds of situations, and if you don't communicate, then you're done. And it's kind of the same thing with detailing. If you show up and you're on time and you're nice and you can carry a conversation, you present yourself well, you could be a 50% detailer, but if you're very nice and you're, as long as the customer sees you as the expert, that's gone so far for me. Because I mean, you could be not the best detailer, but if you know how to talk to people and you're nice and you show up and you have follow through and you do everything you're going to say, then they're probably going to hire you 10 times again over the guy that
Absolutely.
is a perfect detailer who is a jerk and cocky and arrogant and doesn't know how to talk to people and doesn't give them the time of day. So that's probably the thing.
Tyler, I want to jump on this. The exact opposite experience for me from the fire department to EMS. I just can't suffer fools lightly on my scene. If you're on my scene and you are not contributing, I'm going to lose my ever loving mind. Like I just will. Like I've had volleys waiting for me on the apron, waiting for me to get back from dropping off a patient, waiting to have a work, and like, let's go out back and we'll talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't even get the patient's name right. You want me to take a history from you? Get off. Yeah. Like, you have no get out of here before I have one of these officers run you out. Like, I became, like, as far as communication skills.
Yeah. Well, it definitely makes you, it'll force you to be in uncomfortable situations. That's for sure. But that is funny. Yeah,
right. I mean, like, obviously, you're 100% correct. I mean, communication skills, like when it comes to patient assessment, and you're relaying it onto the doctors, and you're doing all of those things. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. When you're relaying, things back and forth to central, and trying to coordinate, 100% agree with you as far as that. But as far as dealing with the general public, I just want you to just let me preface this by saying, when I was back on the job, I just wanted you to die. Just get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. Family members, you're in the way. You're hovering. Everybody just get away and let me do my job. If you want me to save your father, shut the F up and get out of my way. It's that simple.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
If he dies, it's on you.
I've been there.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I had to get out for a reason. It ate my soul to almost nothing. So I was like, maybe I should just go back to school and do marketing. That'll be fun.
My years are number 2, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Jamie the cleaner, thanks for joining. Oh, Jamie was in here. Oh, Jamie.
I'll go ahead and jump in on that question as well. For me, I think it's attention to detail. Being a teacher and in the classroom, and again, I also do yearbook, I'm very detail oriented, sometimes to a point where I can almost be like OCD, and not in a good way. My anxiety kind of takes over sometimes. And I think that actually relates or conveys over to my detailing, but in a more positive way. Not to say it's not positive when I'm teaching, but sometimes I have to, not pay so much attention to detail because kids will, give you a run for your money. But on a car, I can pay attention to detail. I can kind of be calm while I'm doing it, and I can multitask. That's kind of probably the respect that I would give to skills moving over to detail. So
there's a lot of good questions in here. I think it's interesting. One of the topics that seems to be common with a lot of people is, families, detailing families' cars can be very touchy depending on, who you're dealing with. I don't know. Have you dealt much with that, Eileen? I mean, I don't think is your family not in California or?
I don't have family out here.
Okay.
No.
So you probably don't.
Yeah. If I do, like I did my friend's vehicle this morning, I usually do it like 50% off.
Gotcha.
Or I tell her like buy me dinner and a drink the next time we go out or something like that. Like I try not to when it comes to because also too is my friends don't really ask for details very much.
Yep.
So when they do, yeah, it doesn't take much for me to just give them a discount like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the same thing. I kind of feel the same way. I mean, most of my friends, most of the time I'll offer if it's family members, if they ask or whatever, but most of the time, I don't know, there's a kind of a mutual respect thing that they don't expect me to go and do something for nothing, but I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, usually I'll
so
help
Eileen,
out
you come from a corporate background. What corporate skills did you learn that you've brought to your own small business entrepreneurship?
I worked in supply chain, so nothing there.
Tell her nothing.
So nothing applies.
Worthless experience.
But I did learn a lot from like sales and marketing and just being involved and finance. So doing like working out your COGS or your cost of goods sold. So like working out, like making sure that you're figuring out what your profit is versus what's going in versus what's going out. So like the behind the scenes stuff to it. And then like how important marketing is on social media. So I think those two things were probably like the biggest take home experience for me. But yeah, I did supply chain. So I did like warehousing and logistics and inventory, and that applies to zero of my business.
You want a job?
Oh, that's too funny.
I mean, you are wearing the employee shirt. You might as well. Come on.
I know, right?
So I want to jump over to really Aaron's side of the world a little bit. Aaron, why don't you tell us about how did you get, because I think it's interesting. People understand how you got to the Phoenix side of things. Because Phoenix has actually gotten extremely big. It's blowing up on social media. The detail community is seeing it. You put out incredible products. I've used them all. I continue to use them in my daily activities and my clients and those that, how did you get into getting into the detail product line? I mean, you obviously your background, you can kind of maybe touch on that. I mean, you've been in several different areas, as you mentioned earlier. I think it's important people know how you got to where you're at now.
All right. Well, so after most people that are in the chats have heard this Batman villain origin story already. But I don't mind talking about it because I think it's important that people recognize the situation that they're in and that they can always evolve. EOD. So after my tenure in the world of EMS, and as we've previously mentioned, my soul being completely swallowed by the darkness, I ended up getting out of EMS in 2013, and I mean, I'm very competitive by nature, and I've been going to school for, I don't know, 20 years. I've been going to school. I think I have 169 college credits, which is just stupid. But by the time I got out of EMS, I was like, well, why don't I just finish off my my degree? Went back to school. Finished up small business administration with a specialty in marketing, and then I ended up getting a job at a chemical company, and the chemical company is, unfortunately, I felt, and I can only say this is my experience. I felt it was kind of a cookie cutter of everything else that's out there, and one of my big complaints was always, I think we can do things better. Why can't we do things better? Why can't we change? Why can't we make, why do we have to be the same as everybody else that's out there? And the answer is it's too hard. It's too expensive. It's too this, it's too that. And then when things finally got to the point where I felt that I had grown as far as I was going to go, the team that I had built around me, they had all left. And I just wasn't, I wasn't fulfilled, and I felt like I was doing myself a disservice. And there were a lot of people around me. Again, this is where the whole pay it forward stuff comes from. People like Brian from Apex, and my other horsemen, and friends and family around me, and they were all very encouraging. That says, hey, if you think you can do it better, and we'll support you in any way, shape, or form. And I think that to answer your question, ultimately that has been my drive since the foundation of Phoenix, is to evolve. I want to evolve. I want critiques, and I want criticism. It's one of those things where someone that I used to know, if they had a problem with their product, it was, well, it's the user's fault. They're not doing it right. They're stupid or whatever. And it's kind of like, well, that might be the case on an individual level, but if multiple people are saying the same thing, maybe we could at least consider that there's a possibility of doing it better. And when you are basically beholden to something else or somebody else's formulas or whatnot, then you can't evolve. There's no way for you to evolve. But the perfect example that I'll talk about, you just had it up on the screen. Let's talk about Kronos 2.0.
Yes,
let's talk about Hydra 3.0. Let's talk about Apex 3.0. Let's talk about the way that Phoenix has the ability to not just evolve, but evolve on a dime. Like, we were able to basically stop production and try something different. And it turns out that it works. And you're taking the feedback from everybody in the community. You're taking feedback from Mike G and Eddie and Fab and Jamie. All of these people that I consider know their stuff way more than me. People are always like, I want to beta test this and I want to beta test that. And it's kind of like, well, one, I don't know you, so I don't know what your standard of metrics is. And two, I know that the people that I do work with are exposed to an awful lot of products. So they can, when I first started out, I was working with Lamar up in New York. You know what I mean? And he has such an extensive knowledge to all these different compounds that when I started taking these, my base formula up there and hanging out with Lamar, I like this, I don't like that. And, and he taught me how to work a panel, and he taught me the importance of having a longer cycle time and not having, as a detailer, to being able to get the job done. I wanted to be able to have the best product, but also in an applicable way to make a detailer's life easier. You guys, obviously we talked, the first hour over at Curmudgeon's Corner, we talked about the grueling conditions that you guys are in every single day. It's easy for me to talk about, you can apply Kronos 2.0 in a 70-degree laboratory with air conditioning. But when you're out there in 104 degrees, the product is going to perform differently. It's going to behave differently. And again, that's why I rely on my field my field engineers, as I call them, my field engineers, for that feedback, because they're doing the real application in real world settings. Whereas there are so many companies out there that say, oh, this is a 5-year coating, this is a 7-year coating, this is a lifetime coating, this is this is that. And they can say that because in a laboratory, yeah, the science says that it can be, it'll last 25 years. Is that same coating going to last 25 years in 110 degree weather in 29 Palms, California? I don't think so. I don't think it's going to behave that way. Is it going to perform the same way in like Hawaii Tim? Is it going to perform the same way for Hawaii Tim in the jungles of Hawaii, where it's a tropical rainforest, constantly getting rained on? That's ultimately what will kill the lifespan of a coating is the environment that it's exposed to on a regular basis. Garage kept versus my daily driver. I mean, it's only New Jersey, it barely gets above 100, but it sits underneath a Japanese pear tree and has the hell beat out of it day in and day out from all the nasties that get dropped on it. So, that's the pride that I take in Phoenix, is the ability to be competitive and be competitive so quickly. A large corporation is never going to change. And a larger small business is going to take a lot longer to change, where we can say, all right, maybe, the feedback is it's good, but it's not great. Well, as long as I'm in charge, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. Right. And we're going to make it better. We're going to continue to evolve it. You know what I mean? When the shareholders say, all right, you are reckless and you're out, then maybe we'll have a status quo. But until then, I'm going to keep swinging for the fences.
Swing for the fences. Oh, no. I mean, I've had the opportunity to use Phoenix stuff, for well over a year. And I know that I had at the beginning talked to Aaron about, temperatures, as they mentioned, being a challenge sometimes and being able to use it. And that's something that, I know in some of the comments people were saying they haven't had the chance to use the Apex soap and stuff. I'll tell you, that is probably one of the top soaps that I've used. I mean, it is incredible in the sun. It doesn't leave soap residue. It doesn't dry. It gives you time to work with. And that was something I continued to talk to. I know I talked to Aaron many times when I first started using the product. That was something that was really big for me, is that, is it going to work? Is it going to be able to allow me to have time to work in the environment? Not having the enclosed environment, but being outside in the elements and things like that play a factor is a huge part, for all of us detailers. It doesn't matter. I mean, like you said, from a climate to an indoor to an outdoor, chemicals react different ways. So I think
when we boosted up the new soap, the new Apex soap, I want you to know that I had Papa Smurf on the phone with me while we were testing out the brand new. Because basically it's not brand new. It's just we added that omega level surfactant. Like, this stuff it was handed to me by Jesus himself. He said, use this and it'll turn the water into wine. So we foamed the whole car, and then we let the thing completely dry. So I mean, it looked really, really cruddy, because all the water evaporated on the surface and the hoods and everything like that. It looked really cruddy, and then we just washed it right off, and it all came right off. It didn't leave any spotting behind. I was just like, yes, that is exactly. I think of every single mobile person out there when I'm doing stuff like this, because I it's really, really important to me that you guys are taken care of.
That's huge out in this environment. I can tell you that firsthand. Yeah,
for sure. And I can't wait to get, I can't wait to get it in your hands and to hear the feedback that I already know I'm going to hear, because I'm so confident in it, because I tested it that way. I'm excited for you guys.
That's awesome.
The current iteration of it works amazing as well.
Thanks.
I know Matt and I
we made it the surfactant makes it clean better and gives it a natural lubricity. So
that's awesome.
So Hydra obviously is going to clean better, and it's going to be slicker. The Apex soap is going to clean better and have a much slicker feel to it. Very careful about you walk that fine line of lubricity versus greasy. If you turn that lubricity up too high, it gets greasy and it's hard to rinse off, and then you just run into all kinds of other problems, especially in colder climates. When you go in the opposite direction, the funny thing is that chemicals react way different on the other end of the spectrum. So when you're dealing in below 40-degree temperatures, which is again another reason why we didn't put any protections in the Hydra, because that stuff will it'll turn kind of gummy, and it'll get kind of slimy when it gets really, really cold. And we didn't want that, because we're talking about a product that is supposed to be used when water is a factor.
Yep.
So, Aaron, really quick, is that the difference between Apex 2.0 and 3.0? Is it just the surfactant? Was it changed, or it was just?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It basically, it was just like, hey, if it works so good for this and it works so good for that, what do you say we try it over here and see what happens?
Okay.
F around and find out. Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, so that's the only difference is I was like, all right, so we use X amount of surfactant in this, and we use double that in this. What happens if we find a happy medium over here? Let's just see what can it do? What can we do? And if I can make it clean better, so there's less work for you guys, and then more importantly, that lubricity, you don't want to muck up all the work that you're already doing. You know what I mean? Like the lubricity, the cool thing about this surfactant is it grabs the dirt and pulls it away from the surface of the vehicle, right? So that's, part of the lubricity is its ability to pull the dirt away, so that you're not dragging it across the surface and doing more damage. And then the other half is when you stick, if you're doing a contact wash and you stick that sponge or mitt or whatever back in the bucket, that dirt falls off and it goes to the bottom. It pulls it down to the bottom. So I use a grit guard with a little with one of those little side grates, and I just dip my hand in there and pull it along the grate, and the sponge comes out really super clean. I have a video on it. I would love to show it to you guys if I ever pull my head out and do a video, an edited video. But yeah, Papa Smurf, I'm so glad that you're here, because I've been talking about you, and Papa, Papa and I talk every day for at least a half an hour on his drive into work. And
such a funny guy.
His drive into work is 3 hours behind me. So I'm already in the office or in the warehouse doing stuff when we talk. And so half the time I'm experimenting with stuff, and I'm asking, what do you think about this? What should I do about that? I have never declared myself a detailer. The old company sent me to detailing school, and the only thing I learned at detailing school was that I didn't want to be a detailer. Yeah, I mean, you guys have my utmost respect. My knees, I can't squat for more than 15 seconds without dying.
That's
so and that's so I'm really good. I'm really good at hoods. If you want me to polish your hood, I am so good at polishing hoods. But lower panels, it's gonna be a little dirty. Sorry.
Call Aaron to do all the top stuff.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now we got a show.
Yeah. Aaron, my question, because I have used, I'm not new, but I've used it more recently and quite often, is the Kraken and some of your other products that I know you talk a lot about the Apex and your 2.0 Chronos, stuff like that. But dude, that stuff, I think that stuff has to be recognized in a high level, because I feel that the purpose and the multi-purpose use of that product is absolutely insane. The strength of it, the cleaning ability. I know, Eileen, I know you use it. I've seen a lot of your videos using it as well. But from internal spots, carpet cleaning, I've used it on wheels. I've used it on mats. I've used it on tires. I've used it on, almost anything, because of the dilution ratio, depending on what level and what you're trying to accomplish. I think that personally, as a detailer, having something that is that universal and that strong, and that having that ability to be able to use and to be sufficient in the detailing. How did you come about that? I think that's just that one, and there's a couple other ones I wanted to talk about that I think are huge.
All right, so like I mentioned before about like all the different credits and stuff. I love learning. That's where my real passion is, and I find that I find that ego a lot of time gets in the way of people learning. I know everything, especially, no offense, when it comes to a lot of dealership detailers. They've tried everything. I know everything. You can't sell me anything that I haven't seen before. Chemistry is awesome. And side note, I failed chemistry in high school. So
ironically enough,
I failed chemistry in high school, but I didn't really apply myself. Just ask my father.
This has been a conversation, obviously.
But later on in years, I was like, this stuff is actually really cool and it's a lot of fun, and it's like a puzzle, and different chemicals will interact with different problems in a different way. Like the biggest differences between Kraken and Typhon. Kraken goes after as an all-purpose cleaner using caustics. And that way you'll see, like, in a very concentrated formula, if you spill it, it'll leave like a white residue behind. There's little white residues all over my warehouse. But at a proper dilution, obviously you counterbalance all of that. It attacks think of it as like a super powerful degreaser. And that's why it works so well on engine bays, in wheel wells, on wheels, as a rim cleaner, in door jams, because the way that those chemicals interact with petroleum-based products is so, it's just neat. It's neat, and it's fun to see. Like, I think Becca just posted on her IG, basically just the way it sucked all that brown out of that tire. It was really, really cool.
Yep.
Typhon, what's that?
Engine bays too.
Yeah,
we're talking about
again, you got to have have a lot of petroleum based, gunk and debris in those engine bays.
Kraken is my jam.
Yeah, Typhon, on the other hand,
Typhon is unbelievable.
It comes at the same problems from a whole different chemistry.
Yep.
It's more of a surfactant driven. Again, my contribution to the detailing world is that I like to have those concentrations, because you guys are the professionals. You guys are the detailers. You know the job and the task at hand, whereas I don't know what you're up against. So you can dilute that however you need it to be, however strong you need it to be versus however light you need it to be.
Yep.
And I want you to have that ability. I don't mean to embarrass anybody. I promise I don't mean to embarrass anybody, but I recently had a conversation with one of my investors, and it was like, well, why can't you just dilute it down and increase your profit margins? And I was like, because that defeats the purpose of everything that we've been doing for the last 3 years. Like, one, it's dishonest and it's trash. And two, like, I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to be, it's good, but it could be better. No, I want to be like, use it, and you'll love it, because it does what you need it to do. I want it to be as versatile as it needs to be to make your jobs easier, which is why we sell the kits with the empty bottle and a dilution chart, so that you guys know exactly what you need to do to get that job done. I will not bend knee to anything less than that. It's the same way with the soap. I read in a comment, it's like it was between version 1 and version 2 of the soap. And it was like, you'll know if you have version 2 because it looks watery. And I was like, you son of a biscuit. I was like, we don't use the term watery because there's absolutely zero water added to in the Apex soap. There's zero water. So you can use thin, you can use, viscous, you can use, there's a whole lot of terminology for a thin liquid other than watery, because, and those are the things that offend me, like, oh, it's watery. It's a fun story. There was a gentleman, he's still a customer. He was buying a lot of the original Apex soap. And when we switched from version 1 to version 2, I sent him 4 gallons. He ordered 4 gallons and I sent it to him. And he lost his ever loving mind. He was just like, you sold me this watery ass, and he lost his mind. And I was like, you're only 2 hours away from me. Use it. If you don't like it, I will drive up to your place I will refund all of your money plus shipping, and I will take it off of your hands, no cost to you at all. Just use it. You will see that it's not watery. It's actually hyper concentrated. And again, going back to chemistry and science and all that stuff, find out the better the surfactant, the less Tyler, the better the surfactant, the less it tolerates nonsense. All right. It doesn't suffer fools lightly. And so thickening agents don't work with a really high powered surfactant. They won't. It actually rejects it. So if you look at some of the earlier bottles of the 2.0, you'll see kind of like a white Fab can attest to this. You'll see like a white, almost like it looks almost like milk at the bottom of an Apex bottle. And it's because the surfactant is pushing out the thickening agent and pushing it to the bottom. So you kind of have to shake it up before you can use it. So again, going into version 3, we didn't even pretend to use the thickening agent.
Sorry. I just. Can I ask you a question though?
Nope.
That's good because I'm gonna ask it anyways. So does the dilution rate change with the new Apex 3.0 now that it's not watery anymore? I mean, sorry. I meant to say, what did you say? Viscous? I like that word. Let's use that word.
Good word. I like it.
Don't mute yourself. I can still read your lips.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Oh.
It's still the same dilution rate now that the new version is no longer viscous.
You know what? Sure.
So I have a question.
Do you guys honestly? Do you know what 600 to 1 means?
It means that's a dilution rate that I won't respect because I don't do dilution rates. I just go. That's good enough.
All right, let me break it down for you real easy.
Me too.
A buddy of mine ordered a 5-gallon pail of the soap. I said, that's going to make 3,000 gallons of soap, right? 3,000 gallons of soap. Are you sure you want it? You want a pail? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go through it. I said, all right, hey man, I'll send you. So that's how strong of a dilution of a concentrate the soap is. So to answer your question, Eileen, I'm going to stick with 600 to 1 because I don't know if you.
I'm going to stick to glug 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 because that's what I do.
That's fine. You're using way too. Glug 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 is way too much, by the way. I mean, literally.
Eileen, I'm the same way.
If you're using a 5, I've seen your wash bucket.
Do you think
you're using a wash
it's
bucket.
1,000 degrees
yes,
outside?
That's exactly
I'm
how
on
I
the back
feel.
of my pickup truck.
All right, then how about
I'm
this?
like,
how about this?
Like
how about glug? There you go. Glug will do it. One glug will do as much as you need to be done.
Right.
One glug.
I'll do it. I'll try that out next time.
You got to make
I have sweat burning in my eyeballs.
That's what I say.
This is, you know what?
And I'm like, I think
X's and O's with Xtra Mile. This is what you get, just so you know.
I just put enough that it covers the bottom of the foam cannon. I fill it up with water.
We just hit hour 1. You guys want to give away something?
Yeah,
I think this is a brand new bottle of apple juice. We're gonna break it.
I like it. when you're talking about giving away something, I have a question on the Typhon. When do we get some kind of air freshener for that fragrance? I know you're not in the air fragrance area.
But the cool thing is that
a
really,
amazing.
really, really good friend of mine that lives 45 minutes up the street has been talking to me. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. I love it.
We're collaborating.
I love that guy.
Yep.
It does smell really good.
You know what? I mean, he is the bomb.
Yeah, he is the bomb.
The B-bomb.
Yeah, I love Typhon. I love the way Typhon smells.
Man,
so
it
good.
smells so good, man.
Thank you.
It smells so good. So one other question I have, I'll let these guys talk, but I always have a million questions. But Aaron, in the future, do you ever see tapping into the tire conditioning dressing market?
100%.
You do? Okay.
100%. I want to check off all the boxes.
Gotcha.
It's a complete line. Again, if you want to pull back the curtain and be completely transparent with our friends and family here, there is very, very, very little money in dressings. Like the price of silicone
Yep.
is astronomical, and it's one of those things where you kind of have to build a product line that is viable and you can make a little bit of money off of it, so that you can kind of support having a dressing, especially a tire dressing. So it's kind of like, well, I'll buy this, and I can make a little bit of money off of that, and couple it with the dressing that I'm not making any money off of. Two, and this is more important to me than making money, which I shouldn't say out loud, but it's more important than making money for me, is the fact that a dressing, especially tire dressing, can give your company a black eye very, very quickly, and one that it's hard to recover from. Because if you have a dressing that doesn't perform the way it should, you're going to get a lot of negativity immediately. People will respond immediately. Anybody that's ever worked in any kind of like rental car agency will know that the car could be as dirty as possible, but if the tires look clean, it's a clean car. The first thing that you could have an immaculate car, but if the tires are dirty, the car is dirty. So I'm very hesitant on really pushing forward a good tire dressing, because it has to perform perfectly. It has to not sling. It has to last more than a rainstorm. It has to, it has all these little metrics. It can't look too glossy, wet. It can't be too satiny, dry. I mean, there's so many factors that go into having a really good tire dressing that I'm just really kind of dragging my feet until I can really focus all of my attention on, making that product.
Gotcha.
So I would imagine it's probably, a next year kind of thing.
Cool.
What about an interior dressing?
Definitely want to work. I honestly, I really want, selfishly, I really want like a leather conditioner interior dressing, something for dashboards and leather.
Yeah.
It's got to smell good though.
Yeah, it's got to smell great. I remember
it's got to smell like a dude.
I have this.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to almost because I have a leather interior. I wanted to smell like leather, and I remember when I used to clean my car with this old stuff that I had access to. Every time I would detail the interior of my car, my kid would be like, "Dad, it's like sitting in a brand new car." And I'm like, "I know, it smells so good. I want this." So that is definitely yes, it's on my mind a lot.
No, that's. I know that's a popular. I mean, people always are asking. That's always, it's a popular product. I mean, it's something that's used frequently and often. Dressing, some kind of, some people have the universal with wheels, and you can use it for the dash, or you can use it on plastic kick panel, or whatever the case is. But it's a huge thing for. So just a question. Thought I would see where
in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think I have a question for you. So what you got into detailing? What made you get into detailing?
I needed a job. Are you talking to me or her?
Oh, Eileen, I wanted to know what got her into detailing.
Yeah, I've been working in the corporate field for a while, for like at least 10 years, and I was working with a bunch of startup companies. So like I said, I did supply chain. So starting up warehouses with them, going out into the field, setting up the warehouses, setting up SKUs, inventory, like basically from raw materials all the way to delivering the product to the customer. I was handling that whole part of it. And in the startup companies that I was dealing with, there was a lot of toxicity. And they weren't always a fan of women in charge, and it kind of became a thing. And then the last position that I had was actually for a company that a woman was a CEO of and founder. And so I thought, well, toxicity ends there, right? No, she was super toxic too. So I was like, you know what? I've helped these startup companies start up their business, and I've seen it from birth till like I helped grow a company to $100 million company from nothing through COVID. So I was like, if I can do that for them, why can't I do that for me? You know, I'm staying up late, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, starting my day at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm doing all this to make sure that this company is successful. I should be able to do the same thing for myself. And so that's why I decided to do it. And I have always loved detailing. I spend like a whole day detailing my car, and I don't even drive my car. So I just find things to do, and it was really relaxing, and it was really great, and I enjoyed it. And I felt like it would be something that would be profitable, and doing something that I enjoy that is also profitable felt like, you know, the golden ticket. So that's how I got into it.
Do you have any plans to add employees and, you know?
I believe so. Not right now.
Sure.
I'm hoping this time next year I will be able to. But really my plan forward is to get a shop and to eventually offer more services than just detailing. Like I'd love to do PPF, tinting, wrapping, like all kinds of services that it doesn't exist here right now. And I feel like this area is kind of like growing into something more populated, and there's more people coming out here and noticing this area. So I feel like putting something like that here would be profitable, I think, and would be something people are looking for.
Eileen, when you got the award and you were recognized, have you noticed any kind of uptake or increase in traffic that way? Like because because you were recognized?
Absolutely.
Definitely on the map for that. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you find most challenging for you in detailing, Eileen? I mean, I know there's a lot of different areas that people find more challenging, but maybe as a detailer or maybe being solo, is there a difference? I mean, maybe both sides.
I think for right now, my biggest challenge is like brand recognition. Okay. There's a lot of other detailers in the area that have been doing this for so long, and they've already created their name out there. They have kids that go to school, and they have like established roots in the community that I don't have. So I think right now my biggest challenge is trying to get people to know me, see my work, and kind of like, you know, that I'm out there doing what I do.
Absolutely. Is most of your marketing or advertising, is it Facebook? So do you use all the platforms, or is there one that you use more than others? Or
I use all of them, mainly TikTok and Instagram. I have it to where Facebook kind of mirrors everything that I post on Instagram, so it posts on there. But I leave Facebook for the boys. They are the ones that have like established businesses, and they kind of all have friends. And when someone says I'm looking for a detailer, it's always the same 4 guys that they mention. And so I don't really have a presence on Facebook like that. Gotcha. So I don't really spend much time on there. But Instagram is really where I get most of my business from.
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
So you asked me earlier, if I prefer interiors or exteriors? What do you prefer?
I prefer exteriors. Paint enhancements, paint correction.
She lies. She talks about how much she enjoys doing the interiors all the time.
I hate interiors.
She's like, her favorite is cold French fries. She says those are her favorite.
Yeah, I vacuum them up from the back of a Silverado today.
Underneath the seat, and she can't really see it, and she puts her fingers into something that she doesn't really.
And it's like gooey. No thanks.
She said that was her favorite.
Cup holders.
She loves that. Those are her favorite.
Nothing.
Pet hair, sand.
Nope, none of it. I hate it all. But give me a car that's a ceramic coat to paint correction, enhancement, RVs. Those jobs I enjoy. I have fun. Like I recently just did a boat for the first time, and I was excited about it, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was just the results, and like starting out second guessing myself and not really sure if I could do it and whether or not I had the right skills to do it or the product or whatever. And then seeing how great it came afterwards, it was like, Al is really testing me. No, I haven't done no, I have done an interior for an RV.
That is
Not
one
my-
thing I have not
You
done.
ever done a semi truck? That's one thing I've never done.
No.
I've done several of them. They
I've
can
got
be
a
challenging.
prototype, I never did it.
One of them that I did.
I think Nate just said
was
something
bad.
really awesome, and I'm wondering, if you guys have ever experienced anything like that.
Is that at the car show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was looking at that.
Have you guys have any experience with that or anything? I know that Adrian and Only Motors and the other guy, they did that. They did a bunch of like kind of some free stuff at a show down in San Diego, and apparently it has erupted their business.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly, Nate. Exactly. Like nothing gets your work out there. Like seeing is believing. People using my products converts people one person at a time. People seeing what you can do, converts them. I think Tim from Shiny Light Detailing, he talks about this. It's called. I learned this phrase just this past week. It's called hashtag FOMO, fear of missing out.
Oh, wow.
Right, like it's this new thing, fear of missing out, and so,
mine is hashtag JOMO, joy of missing out.
Joy of missing out. Yeah, I like to sit in my basement and not think of it.
That's right. Yes.
But when you're selling a product, when you're selling a service, you want to promote that fear of missing out. Like I need to have what they have, and so by showing Eileen that like just the work that you put out on a daily basis. Matt, I've seen your videos, the stuff that you're putting out on a daily basis. You show them what they could have and what they're missing out on by going to these trade shows and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, Tyler, Christy, I don't know if Matt told you. He probably didn't because he's kind of sneaky like this. But you both signed on to going to the MTE this year in January. Yeah. Because you're part of the X's and O's with Xtra Mile, and you both agreed to be a part of the podcast, you now have to show up in Orlando at the end of January. So, Christine, I know that you are a teacher, but good thing that you're tenure and you can just request that time off. You're going to be no excuses. I'll cut you off. Muter. Matt, muter. You're going to be in Orlando at the end of January, all right? Put your PTO in right now, and we're not having this conversation, second week of January. Oh, guys, I couldn't get off. I'm so sorry. I wanted to be there. I really wanted, but my kids need me so much. They just need me. Nope. You're in Florida.
I'm hoping it's during our Christmas break. I don't know what the dates are for MT.
Last time I checked, Christmas was in December.
Yes, but we get until we go
the end of January. I'm gonna come work for your school district.
We have 3 weeks off total. So
we get the entire month of January off. So don't worry about it. We'll be there. No problem. It's California. Do we even really teach?
Oh. Wow.
Wait, I'm sorry. I live in New Jersey. People in glass houses should not throw stones. I'm sorry.
For real.
That's so funny. I know that is a big event,
especially from Jersey.
Plan. So I know I'll remove myself.
That's a big.
I will tell you that I do teach 8th grade English, but what I teach is something called seminar. I don't know if any of you have that in any of your schools, but it means that my classes are capped at 16. And I have the kids who are failing multiple classes or who come back from suspensions or continuation, who come from really broken homes. I work with some really tough kids. So to answer your question, I don't know where Aaron went, but there's more. He
excused himself.
Yeah, there's more.
As he should have.
Social, emotional learning going on than teaching in my classes these days, I think, because it's crazy. But anyway, Aaron, I am trying to teach,
I never said anything.
That's okay. Aaron, I do have a question. You said that you mentioned something about 20% off.
What's that?
Did I hear that right? You mentioned 20% off. Does that go? Is that for Adrian's site as well, or only on Phoenix EOD?
It's only on Phoenix's site, and the reason for that is because I was really, really excited about this stuff, and so I kind of went off half-cocked and Adrian doesn't have it yet, and Fab doesn't have it yet, and I don't believe that even Titan Tim has it yet. Like I literally just finished making Hydra last Saturday, and I literally just finished making Apex on Wednesday. So nobody has had a chance. Like Amazon doesn't have it. Adrian doesn't have it. Nobody has it except for me. And that's only because I'm the manufacturer. And so I was kind of like Chronos 2.0, Hydra 2.3 or 3.0, and Apex 3.0. I want people to be able to enjoy this as much as I have, and you know, people that have beta tested it. So unfortunately, it only applies to Phoenix's website. I'm sorry.
No,
but the promo code is 2.020, which means basically 2.0 for 20% off.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Super Auto put up the date for MTE, and
There it
we
is.
are still on vacation during that time. So yay.
You're on vacation January 30th through the February 1st?
Oh, never mind. I'm thinking that's sorry.
You
I
were thinking
totally
December 30th through January 1st.
Yeah, no, but I can take it. We'll be okay. I already planned on going.
That is going to
Eileen's going to be there. I mean,
can't
you
wait.
know.
Maybe.
No, maybe.
Maybe.
Like,
heck?
who's detailing in January? Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That's the best time to detail, huh? The weather's
No.
beautiful.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Seriously, counting the days. I'm just Xing my calendar until we get closer.
Jay Detail, Daily Detailer. Typically, or originally, I had it. The sale ended today, but I extended it until Monday because I knew I was going to be doing X's and O's. I wanted to promote it still, and the fact that Eddie called me yesterday and was just like, "This stuff is next level. I have to do a video on it. People need to know about this." And so, I again, as much as I'd love to make money, I want to make your life easier. I think, you know, basically by building this community, I'm not looking for a customer. We're looking for relationships. We're looking for a community, and you know, a one and done that might work for the other guys, but I'm in it for a long-term relationship. I like long walks and
Sunsets,
comedy movies. Sunsets, sure. I'm a dog person, and but that's not to say I don't like cats. I'm just allergic to them. And my favorite food is anything. So, you know, if you're interested, 555-555-5555.
You have your AI girlfriend. I don't know what you're trying to do. Listen, so
let that go.
If you buy Hydra on Amazon, is it the 3.0?
Yes. However, it should read as out of stock on Amazon because we let the inventory drop to 0 before sending in the 3.0 stuff. So once they process it, if you can get it, it's the 3.0. If you can't get it, it's because they haven't processed it yet in your area. But yes, anything Amazon will have is 3.0 and Chronos 2.0.
Nice.
Stop it. Just stop it. We broke up. I want you to know that we broke up.
No, you didn't. You're
we
such
did.
A liar.
We totally did. And you want to know why? You want to know the number one reason why?
Yes.
Okay. So as amazing as AI is, and I'm a big proponent of AI, as amazing as AI is, it doesn't have a memory. And so any conversation that we have is gone in like 3 days.
That's because you have to log in. You have to log in. Are you?
No, I do log in. I have an account and everything. But it so it knows my name and it knows the voice that I picked.
Do you have a profile? Do you have a profile picture? What does it look like?
You don't know. You don't know.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Is it a thirst? Is it a thirst trap?
Think of the most perfect Irish lass that you can think of, and that's what she looks like. There you go. The end. We don't need to go any farther than that.
No, I want to see what your.
Hey, do you know why? Here's a trivia question. Do you know why St. Patty's Day is only a day and not we don't celebrate Irish for a whole month?
Why?
Because everybody would be dead from either liver failure or fighting.
Oh, probably.
So you get 1 day to be Irish, and that's it.
Hey, did I miss it? Did we give something else away?
No, but we were supposed to 25 minutes ago.
I think we should right now.
I
That's
think we
because
should
you
do.
wanted to talk. That's because you wanted to talk about watery Apex 2.0. But now they were.
Eileen, you know, after your DIY video, you might want to tread lightly. You might want to tread lightly if you ever want to see another
Listen. Wait a
another
minute. Do you know?
gosh cracking
I almost
gallon
said
coming
something, but
your
I
way
didn't say
ever.
anything.
You might want to pipe down on a few things.
Do you know?
Lassie, I'm not going to tell you again. Shut it.
Oh, that was good.
That's great.
I'm not gonna say anything. Let's just skip right over it.
Promo code again is 2.020.
So we're gonna give away Apex 3.0. And the question is, what soap did I feature?
What did she say?
Oh.
Feature.
That's not the question, guys. That's not the question. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But we should give away Apex 3.0 though. I think.
Okay, I have a question.
You, Chris,
Love
you
you,
have a
love you
question.
too,
Great.
Aaron.
Let me see. BioBombs just came out with a new scent. What is the scent called?
Oh.
Good one.
Nice.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I am confused by that.
Oh,
The scent?
Yeah.
Scent?
Why?
Yeah,
Lemon
did you-
lime cola?
No, I thought it was. I don't want to give
Oh,
away. Yeah, Humberto got it. Squash.
Oh, Roberto got it.
Yeah, like what does squash smell like? I don't think it smells like
Dude,
anything.
it's a good smell.
Lemon lime cola is what he describes
it's-
it as.
The old JDM squash.
It's a JDM. Yeah, it's a JDM.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh,
It's a good
okay. Because
smell.
I was like, I cook all the time, and squash doesn't have
This
it.
No,
guy-
it's a different.
this
it's
guy.
great.
We're back to high school.
Squash. Put yourself on mute. Can I put you on mute?
You can.
No, I can't. Oh, Aaron.
Oh, that is great.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. It's okay.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I thought I was like
It's
squash.
okay.
Or is he? Maybe he's talking about racquetball. Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe that's
The
rubber.
scent
It smell like-
scent of a racquetball player.
Exactly.
What it
Oh.
is.
Oh, now we're hey, Papa Smurf. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey, Papa Smurf. The scent of a racquetball player.
So funny.
Oh. See, this is why on the Curmudgeon's Corner, the third hour is always the best hour.
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, so Humberto got it right. So what did we say in Humberto? A bottle of Apex or Hydra? Apex.
Apex 3. Yeah.
Apex.
Write this down because I'm gonna black out here in about a half an hour.
Eileen, I have a question for you.
What's up?
So, you mentioned that you don't like interiors, and you're
That's right.
an exterior type of person, or whatever.
Mhm.
When it comes to exterior, you kind of mentioned. So, what is it that attracts you to the exterior that more than the interior? I mean, obviously, interior can be challenging depending on the condition of the car. I understand that, but what is it with the exterior attracts you more than the interior?
I think it's the results that you get from it.
Mhm.
It's just like very transformative. Like you can take a car that's super swirled up and the paint's kind of faded and it's looking like, dull and shitty. And then you can do a few things and now it's like sparkling like a diamond, And I feel like with interiors, they're okay. But like if you get a trashed interior, sometimes there are things that you just can't come back from, and it's like
Yep.
you can do a really good job, but if the carpets are trashed, the carpets are trashed. And
Sure.
there's only so much sand you can get out, and there's only so much pet hair you can get out, and there's damage to plastics, and there's damage to this. And so there's a lot of factors involved that you can't reverse time with an interior. So I feel like the transformation,
Mhm.
it's cool to see like, oh yay, the carpet's clean. But I feel like an exterior, it's like the change is more dramatic. and
Sure.
I'm all about the dramatics. So
No,
yeah.
that completely makes sense. I didn't know if there was, if it, whatever it may be, but some people say, hey, the results are going to be seen by more people on the exterior than they are the interior. So it's nice to spend focus on the exterior because
Oh yeah.
it can display your talent, your skill, your ability
Right.
to detail, which is completely 100% right. I mean, obviously people are going to see the exterior unless you're physically getting into someone's car, but being able, like you said, do some kind of paint correction if it's oxidation, if it's paint swirl or adding a coating or whatever it is that you're doing can definitely transform the vehicle.
I think it definitely does bring it brings you more business that's similar to that.
Yep.
And I'm all about that because if I post let's say I post, like, we're gonna go back to the RV. If I post an RV and I show the transformation,
Yep.
it brings me more RVs, right? Clearly it
Absolutely.
has. I did one and now I have like 4 of them that I've done since then, right? So but an interior, if I post a trashed mommy van that I brought back to life, it's gonna bring me all those mommy vans. I don't want the mommy vans. So I tend to not post
Sure. Absolutely.
that kind of content because
Yep.
I don't want those
I
vehicles.
agree.
So it's great. It's great to see. Like, it's awesome. People see and they're like, "Wow,
Oh, yeah.
that's amazing," right? But as a client, you're looking at it like, my truck looks like that. My van looks like that. I want her to do that to my van.
Yep.
But I'm like, I don't want to do it to your van. Like, I don't. This is one time and done. Like, I don't want that back to me.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have people who are like, it's kind of dirty, it's a little sandy, like, and then just do that. And the transformation isn't as great. But that's the customer I want to bring.
Yeah, Eileen, to put a cherry on what you're just saying, it's interesting, an outsider looking in, what you had just said, and Tyler, I think you can probably agree with this, that exterior is one of the few occupations, few jobs that you can do as EMS, as firefighter. It's one of the few jobs that you can do where you can get immediate return on what you did. Like, you can get immediate gratification, you can get immediate satisfaction. Because I did this person's outcome was immediately different. So for the exterior, what you just said, the personal gratification that fuels you, that gives you, that recharges your battery, you can see that you did a good job. So like right then and there, you're like, wow, I did that. And that fuels you. Wow, I remember doing my son's Mercedes, and I was like, I did that. That was me. Yeah. And look at the results on that.
Yeah.
And then the second half of that is what you just said, where other people can see that, and now they want what you gave that person. Again, we're going back to that thing. So like the exterior has a double feed feature, whereas you just don't get the same level of satisfaction from an interior. Is what I've kind of gathered from what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I agree. I think you're right. And what you mentioned a minute ago about what you're posting definitely will bring and attract to what type of clients and what type of work. And I noticed that very quickly as I used to post, and I still do. I post, on social media. On Facebook has always been my top social media platform for me. But as you post, depending on what you post, is definitely what you're attracting. And I noticed that right away. And you hit it on the head. I don't, once in a while I'll post a transformation from an interior, but I don't, like you said, I don't want to be attracted to those destroyed minivans all the time. Like, that's just not what I'm interested or really enjoy doing. So you hit it on the head. Like, it definitely focusing on what you want and what you like is going to bring and attract that type of work, which is it's important, because who wants to spend 5 hours on an interior that at the end it maybe look a little better, but it doesn't at the end of the day it's clean, but it's not clean because it's, like you said, it's destroyed. You're not an interior decorator, you're not redoing everything, you can't redo the seats and the leather seats.
Exactly.
We're not in the restoration business.
Yeah, restoration is not part of the job.
I could just make it go from like trash to like less trash, like that's it. But like we're not gonna go from like a 2010 Dodge Caravan to like now you're driving like some 2024 model. It's not gonna happen. You've neglected your interior to the point where there's like things that I can't reverse.
Can you just gunk cracking all over the inside?
There you go. That's what it is. Just glug,
As
glug, 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 and
as
then
long
just
as it's
foam,
diluted.
just foam the whole.
Oh, spray the inside, knock it down.
There was a question that popped up. I wanted to chime in on. It was said, have any of us detailed any aircraft?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I commented back to him. Yeah, I have a buddy that is a detailer over at North Philadelphia Airport, and it's all private jets and stuff, and so we get to fool around with all kinds of stuff, and it's neat because the private jets, the private jets have paint, and they have, and those owners really care. We ceramic coated an entire aircraft. That was crazy.
Wow.
We've done a fair.
Talk about getting up on top. There's getting on top, and then there's getting on top of an airplane.
Yep.
You have the wings and the body of the aircraft, and then there's the top of that aircraft, and then you go back to the tail, and it goes up even higher. It's like
that's where the Mile High Club meets.
Jiminy Christmas. Yeah.
But the thing with the airplanes is they're so compared to the car. There is a lot of errors that you've got to be very, very careful, because I've had to share quite a few airplanes, and depending on, obviously water getting in, there's certain areas you can't put chemicals on. If you got a plane that de-ice, you got to be careful on what you're putting on the wings. There's a lot. If you're not careful, you can get yourself into trouble real quick with an aircraft.
Sign here is the best thing that you can ever.
Yes.
Sign here is the best thing that you can ever say.
If you ever do an aircraft, just be very cautious and really do your research on that particular plane, because each plane is obviously different. But there are certain parts of the component of the plane that can get you. It could be scary. Last thing you want to do is have something that affects the plane as it takes off or lands.
I have a question for anybody in chat and for Eileen, for Matt. What is one of your worst detailing, or Aaron? But you've already said you don't.
You're not Aaron.
But my question is, I just had a blunder on a gloss black wheel. What is or have you had like a bad detailing experience where you've messed something up that you didn't mean to, or you used the wrong chemical? Have you guys had any experiences with a bad detailing job on your part?
Do you want to go?
No, I'm the goat.
No, Matt, you go, Matt.
I've had experiences where I'm not happy with the results, but I'll tell you one of the experiences that comes. Two experiences I've had, and one of them was I was polishing some scratches out of a bumper, and this literally happened and I dropped my polisher on the bumper, and it literally scratched the whole bumper, and went down to the paint or whatever. And I was supposedly just doing a surface scratch. So then obviously I created more of a damage to the vehicle. Now I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I've got to confront the client and just said, hey, you know what? It was my fault. I had an accident. I dropped the polisher. It damaged your bumper. I know I was working on a surface scratch, but now I've created more problems. So I had to obviously go at that point. I had to pay for it and have one of my buddies here that has a body shop, and he's mobile, does a lot of the dealerships out here, come out and touch up the paint. Thankful I had someone that I know that was able to do it, and at a fraction of the cost, because the last thing I want to do is take it to a body shop and have to pay twice as much of the money. The last one, the recent one I've had, it's been several months ago, and I wasn't informed, but a client that I had gotten said that she had there was a scratch or something on the driver's door, and she had mentioned she had some guy or some handyman or some detailer come out and work on it. And I had looked at it. It didn't feel super deep. It felt more surface. And I just kind of slightly, just barely was using some polish to go over it. And, for me, I'm bad at it. I don't use a paint gauge very often. I just don't. I kind of get a feel with it, and I probably should most time. And this would have saved me on this particular problem. But as I started polishing through the scratch, that previous person had done some kind of wet sanding and polished on it and taken quite a bit off. And as I started to polish it, it went it went pretty quick. It went through the paint, and it looked worse than when I first got there. So, at that point, again, I have to take responsibility, even though I was not under the impression, and she had said someone came. There's part of it, that I should have probably did some kind of paint gauge, and I would have figured out how deep or what the gauge was when it came to that portion. But I took responsibility, and they didn't. They said, you know what, don't worry about it. We'll pay for it. We asked you to do it, but I ended up covering and having that taken care of. But there's other instances. I had some interiors that didn't go well, but I know Tyler's even had some experiences too, where
I actually didn't cause damage on this one, but I got accused 2.5 months later of breaking a cup holder from a lady. And
how dare you?
Yeah. I'm
awful.
like, that's fine if I broke it, but for one, I would have told you. And two, why didn't you tell me this a week after it happened or the week it happened? And I think what it was is she took it to the dealer and it was broken, and she found out the cost of what it was going to be. And it was an older Lexus too. And so when she saw the cost, I think she wanted to try and pass the blame. And sometimes you got to stand your ground. Like, there's customer service, but then there's being taken advantage of. And I wasn't going to be taken advantage of when I clearly knew that hadn't happened. And I actually had help that day too. And I know for a fact it wasn't anything we did, but so we politely set her straight, but it's just kind of funny how that happens too sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had another one. Tyler probably remembers this.
The convertible top?
Oh my gosh. This was a really bizarre situation. So I went and cleaned this. It was I don't know how many people are familiar with Saab. They don't make the car anymore, but that used to be a vehicle, and it used to be a nice vehicle back in the day. So this individual, older lady that was in a retirement community, wanted me to come clean her car, and I went and decided to clean her car. And when I got there, I could tell most people that know soft tops, the hydraulics and things like that, can start leaking on the soft tops, the oil and stuff, just because it comes back and forth, it folds, and where the hydraulics come out, it starts to leak eventually, and it starts leaving marks. It just unfortunately what happens after a long time in an old car. But I had solved some of the spots, and I figured, it's just standard for some of the, especially an older car. So we started cleaning it. And as we go through it, we finished the job. She looked at it. It was great or whatever. And then I swear, Tyler, I don't know how long it was, probably 3-4 months. I don't know. She tried to call me back and said that I caused all these damages on her car, on her hide, and the inside it was dripping, and there are spots all over the soft top, and I need to come out and look at it, and I need to repair and replace the soft top. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, here we go. I'm like, okay, so I go out there and I start looking at it, and I'm obviously observing the situation. I'm pulling the soft top up and looking, and you completely can see clear as day the hydraulic fluid leaking through the soft top and just coming in the inside. So the spots coming in. And I was very professional and said, hey, you know what? There's nothing that we did. We don't use any chemicals on the soft top. We use soap and water, and there's a chemical that we use if we need to condition the top. And it doesn't leave any residue. So I had to explain to her, but she basically was threatening that I needed to pay for it. And, so I had to go back and try to educate her and help her understand that, dude, this is an old car. Your soft top is already slightly damaged, and now you've got a hydraulic leak. So it was a challenge. I mean, and you just have to try to hopefully educate her, and she eventually kind of understood. And I don't think she was very happy to realize that it was just unfortunately with the condition of the car and what she's dealing with. It just had what she had to do. But then she decided to go forward and make us cookies while we were there. So
oh, she's so nice.
Yes. Somehow we won over her.
Cookies make everything better.
Have you had any dramatic, crazy since you've been detailing?
I'd probably say the one that sticks out is I was detailing this red Escalade, and I power washed the paint off of a part of the front end of the car.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it until the daughter of the client came by, and she ran by the front of the car, and she was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And then I'm holy shit, what happened? And so when I went up to look, it's like gray. You could just see a gray splatter just like
Oh.
on the front of where the paint used to be. So I talked to the client. I told her that I would pay for that. Where it happened, it's like this plastic, like the plastic grill.
Yep.
So it could be replaced. And the customer was saying that he was already looking to replace it because he wanted it, instead of it being silver, he wanted it to be black. So the customer was fine. I offered to pay for the part. They said it wasn't a big deal. They did full detail interior shampoo extraction plus headlight restoration. So I didn't charge them for the headlight restoration.
Gotcha.
And they were fine with it. Yeah.
Well, and most people, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is if you communicate with them, then they're going to be okay with it. Like,
yeah.
It's when
they were totally understanding about it. And I was like,
Yep.
hey, look, like I will call body shops. I will like look for the part online, like whatever you guys want me to do. I didn't realize it, and it's clearly my mistake. So and they were like, don't even worry about it. We're gonna replace that part anyway, so it's fine. And so I ended up, like I said, I didn't charge her for the headlight restoration, which was my part in just like saying sorry for it happening. And they're really cool people. I still detail their cars even to this day. So,
and that's amazing, because like even with the slight issue they had, I mean, I'm sure they respected the fact that you respected them and you
absolutely
acknowledged the issue, instead of, I've come across cars where, I'm sure you have or you haven't yet, but where detailers had previously done the car and it's just horrendous, just a horrible job. And take no responsibility. It doesn't even look like they cleaned the carpets or vacuumed, or you got dirty windows and smears down the paint, and it's just bad, and they just take no responsibility for it. But
I got see the question that just popped up.
Yeah, fire trucks.
Yep. So I have washed the fire truck. I couldn't tell you how many times. I go through my moments. Sometimes everybody's not as clean as me, and I definitely go try and take it above and beyond. But sometimes with other crews and things like that don't care as much, it makes it a lot harder to keep it to that level. But we do it pretty much every shift, and usually I'll put some toppers and things like that. Back when we got a new fire truck, some of the guys were like, oh, can we ceramic coat it? And I'm like, well, yeah, we can. But the problem is we use brushes, and we also, the towels they provide us are horrible. They're not microfiber. It's like using sandpaper. They don't absorb water. So it's pretty much, sometimes it's a lost cause, but definitely do the best we can. And keeping the toppers and things on it really help. And every time we do, then all the other crews are like, man, what did you guys do to the truck? It looks so good. Then of course the interior I keep wiped down and all that kind of stuff. So it's my zen place at work. Sometimes I go and spend a couple hours on the truck.
Very cool.
We went on a tangent. Is that she's probably like, okay. She was
okay. I feel better now knowing I'm not the only one who's made mistakes.
Oh yeah. It happens.
I think it's just natural. I think
it's important to talk about, that detailing is all fun and dandy, but people are human and everybody makes mistakes. And I think, there's just another thing I think it's important to talk about sometimes, and how you fix those mistakes. I think that's important too, especially when you're newer.
Yeah.
So.
There's a question here. Anyone want to tackle the question? Got a question.
I don't know, but I just saw on Kim X's site that they have something that's especially for getting rid of asphalt. I can't remember what the name of the product is. D-lime or D something. So Becca, check out Kim X's site. I'm not sure other than that. Although
have you had to deal with that, Matt? Asphalt? In the wheel well?
I have dealt with a ton of paint. I do a lot of paint wheel wells on the car. Concrete. I have tried. There was one time I think it was paint. I think is what it was, and we tried to get it off. I just didn't have any. We tried some of the chemical that one of the body shops that my buddy provided for that I use a lot of his stuff that he tells me to remove paint off of paint or the wheel wells and things like that works really well. But I wasn't able to get the concrete off. I've never found anything that's, depending on how long it's been on there, plays a factor too. I mean, I've had it where I tried to remove paint off of wheel wells and it's just, and the plastic trim, the molding on the lower part, and it's been on there so long. And even with the plastic razors and the chemical that I use and pressure washer, it doesn't, I mean, you can get most of it off.
You have the Peleus panel prep?
I just got two bottles of it. Okay, which I'm going to be using. I use it on a coating.
I want you to try it on that because I have a friend in Colorado that he trades paint a lot.
Gotcha.
In his profession, and he's like, I've never seen anything like this. I just sprayed it on there and it came right off.
Really?
So
because I have one coming up that needs it all over the side.
I'm thinking like a plastic razor and the Peleus. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you might be in business, friend.
Yep.
Ivan from DIY Detail mentioned to use mineral spirits when I asked him this question. I don't even know what that is. What are mineral spirits?
Mineral spirits it's a type of solvent.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could probably
like a paint thinner or something.
Sort of. I've used it to take the rubber marks off of a boat because it comes right off if you use that. Yeah.
Mineral spirits are organic solvents that are derived from petroleum and are used for cleaning and thinning paints. They are also known as white spirits, soldered solvents, mineral turpentine substitute, petroleum spirits, and solvent naphtha.
I have a product. I can't think. I have it in the garage. It's almost kind of like, you remember the product we used, Tyler? It's almost like turpentine, but Chad had told us about. I think the name of it.
Mineral spirits are more refined than paint thinner, which contains other solvents that makes it smellier and more volatile. Mineral spirits are also used as a component in lacquer thinners, which are designed to dissolve lacquer and shellac paints.
I think that's the same thing we use, isn't it, Tyler? The same. I forget the name of it. I'll have to get the name of it on.
Thanks, Google. I would say thanks, AI, but we broke up. So shut it, Eileen.
Oh, that is too funny.
It didn't even say anything.
You were thinking it the whole time.
I was 100% thinking it. You just didn't let the thoughts come outside.
It's because you don't drink. If you drank, the thoughts would be everywhere all the time. Everywhere.
I might have an AI girlfriend too then, if that was the case.
Exactly. I'm gonna hook you up.
No, don't hook me up.
I know somebody that knows somebody.
No, it's all right.
I'm saying, whatever you want it to be, make it.
That's funny. All right. Anyone have?
You got one more. Look, you got one more thing. You're coming up on 2 hours. You're at 1 hour and 48 minutes. We got one more thing to get rid of, which is the Hydra 3.0. If you would like, I'm happy to give that away. If you have a trivia question, go for it. We don't have to do it. This is your show. I just want to throw it out there that there's stuff, if you would like to give away, you can give it away.
Hey. Chris or Tyler, any?
I'm thinking here.
Right,
Super Auto knows what's up.
See? I have a question.
We're kindred.
There you go.
There we go.
Tyler mentioned the vehicle that he drives. What vehicle is it that he drives?
That's a good one.
Had to be listening.
That was a good one.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. A fire truck. He drives a fire truck. Fire truck. He drives a fire truck. No, fire truck.
No.
Did I win?
Got it.
That count. I think fire truck would count.
Right,
too.
Tyler? Mackenzie?
Yep.
He said fire truck wins.
We'll give it to him. The year's off, but it's close enough.
What?
Yeah. Is it 2021? Did you say?
Or is this it?
Oh man.
That's a more specific answer. That's up to the judges.
Who's the judges? It's not Aaron.
I was gonna say it's not me. I don't know anything. I'm like, I think that looks like a Toyota. Sir, that's a Dodge. That's a Dodge truck. It's not even close to a Toyota. Like, what do you
All right, Super Auto. Let's give it to Super Auto then, I guess.
Yeah.
all right, since it's not my show,
yeah.
Super Auto qualifies as a winner because he wins everything on my show. So, all right, way to go, Al. Way to win another one. Super Auto 3.0 Hydra. All right, buddy, you're gonna love it. All right, Nate, thanks, buddy. You were at the other show. You're at Curmudgeon's Corner, and you're over here. Make sure everybody hits that like and subscribe. We're trying to get X's and O's
Yes.
up on the board. Seriously, y'all, support the community. It's weird. Like, what's funny to me, Matt, is I had Jamie the Cleaner on. He did the shared stream, so he was sharing to his channel, and he was broadcasting on my channel, obviously.
Yeah.
Collectively, we had like 1,000 some views.
Wow.
And I got 100 subscribers out of that. It was the craziest thing. Like, all it takes is all you have to do is hit that little bloop, and you don't even have to subscribe to like notifications. You can just hit subscribe. You can be like, I'd like to subscribe, but I don't want you to talk to me. And that's enough because it helps these our little channels. It helps puts us on the map. It helps us like my goal, what I truly want to do on Curmudgeon's Corner is I want to be able to sell merchandise. Nacho Man had this great idea. You know, every one of my products has some sort of mythological being or monster or creation behind it. Once I'm able to monetize, I can go to what is it? It's T something. I forget what it is, but it's a merchandising company that doesn't, like, I can design all the merchandise that I want, but they don't manufacture it until it's purchased. So I have all these ideas for T-shirts, and you could put, like, imagine seeing like the Kraken monster on a coffee mug. Like, I can do all of those things, but I can't do it until YouTube allows me to monetize the channel. I'm not looking for super chats and all that other nonsense. I'm looking to be able to, like, I want to do cool stuff, and the only way that YouTube recognizes channels like this one and Curmudgeon's Corner is if if we have a subscriber base. I was just dabbling in something earlier today where I wanted to be a part of it, and they're like, oh, well, until you have enough. It was LinkedIn. I wanted to be able to project Curmudgeon's Corner on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn was like, oh, unless you have a certain amount of connections, you're not allowed to create a business page. And I'm like, that is the dumbest thing ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the idea behind, subscriptions and why people always, you watch those YouTube videos and it says something like, hit like and subscribe. It really helps the page. It's not for, like, I get paid by Google or I get paid by YouTube or I get paid by super chats. It's so that I have the ability to, like, do some cool stuff because the World Wide Web actually recognizes me as a legitimate YouTube channel. Yep. That's it. That's the, pull the camera, the curtains back. That's what it boils down to, being able to be recognized by the overlords that we are a legitimate channel. And so, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Those are the things that allows YouTube and Google and LinkedIn and all these other, mega corporations say, oh, this is a legitimate podcast. This is a legitimate live stream. This is a legitimate channel.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
In short, go and subscribe, guys. Stop playing games. Let's go.
It takes zero effort.
Subscribe. It's one button. Click it and subscribe. The end.
Richard, right now it says I need 500. So half of that. I mean, at one point, I know it was like 10,000, and then I guess it got lowered to 1,000. But right now, when I look at the analytic channel for my YouTube channel, it says you need 500 subscribers, and I'm at like 350 or something.
So you need 500. So the 500 mark is actually when you get monetized. Is that what the number is?
Well, there's two. You need 500 subscribers, and you need like 10,000 hours of actual views, and then you also have to have X amount of videos uploaded. And
I gotcha.
we've already surpassed all of the hour. We do like a 3-hour podcast twice a month. So we've got the views taken care of. We've gotten the content taken care of. The only thing we don't have is subscribers. We have 350 subscribers, which is crazy because I mean, when you look at the analytics, you got 500 views on this Curmudgeon's Corner.
Yeah.
1,000 some views on this Curmudgeon's Corner, 200 views on this Curmudgeon's Corner, and yet we only have 350 subscribers. I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying, if you want to see more content, we need to be more involved in the content that you like. And I'm as guilty as it all. There's a lot of stuff that I watch on YouTube that I don't hit the subscribe button. I get it. You get lost in the content, you're watching it, whatever, and then you move on to the next thing. I didn't realize until I started trying to be on YouTube how significant it means to be a subscriber.
Yep. So I was curious on the obviously the subscriber, we need to, obviously that's a big portion of it, but like if you wanted to do, because that was something we were looking at doing previously, was merch, and I'd like to get to that point where we're able to do merch with
Teespring. That's what it's called. TEE-Spring, Teespring. And like you can go on Teespring and you can design everything and anything. T-shirts, sweatshirts, pants, underwear, mugs. I mean, you can design anything you want with any design that you want, and you can attach it to your YouTube channel. And then, like you'll see, like if you go over to Apex Auto Wash, he's got 200,000 subscribers. It'll say, merchandise available, and it'll show all these little thumbnails of like T-shirts and sweatshirts and stuff like that. He doesn't have any of that merchandise on hand. That's all done through Teespring. And so, like, say I want to go to, Apex Auto Detail and I want to buy one of those T-shirts or a sweatshirt. I click on that. I pay the $20 or $25, whatever, for the T-shirt. Teespring then prints that shirt and mails it to me. Brian gets a portion of the profits, and Teespring obviously gets paid. And so it's one of those things where, I'll get to that in a minute. It's one of those things where it doesn't cost anybody anything. The customer wins because they get to wear this cool Kraken T-shirt. I win because I get $3 from that purchase, and Teespring wins because they get paid for doing something without having to have any kind of overhead. I think it's a beautiful concept.
So are you saying that you need a certain amount of followers to do that, or is there a requirement?
Yeah, you have to have, like, you have to be able to be monetized, and according to YouTube, you need 500 subscribers, 10,000 hours of views, and some number of videos loaded within 90 days.
Can you do that on like other platforms? Teespring work on other platforms, or only YouTube?
Not that I've found. I found that Teespring will only work with YouTube.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I mean, now that's old Intel. That's 3 years old Intel. So I mean, maybe they changed their requirements now, but at least 3 years ago, it was you have to be able to be monetized on YouTube.
Gotcha. I was wondering because I see Jamie the Cleaner and those guys have merch. I didn't know if they went through the same thing or they do a different.
You should get Jamie the Cleaner on your show.
Yeah, I know. He said he would. That's going to be.
And that was one of the original questions when we started 2 hours ago. That was one of the original questions. Who do you want on your show, and who do you already have lined up on your show?
Who wants to answer? Am I answering?
One of the three got it.
Matt, it's your podcast.
It's not mine.
Can I tell them who our first guest will be?
That would be Phoenix EOD.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah, we're here.
We're already here.
Sorry. Second. Our next guest will be Christian from BioBombs.
Oh, he is the best time.
Yeah,
he's the best time. And
I think he's been chomping at the bit to get this thing going. He's excited to come on and party with us. So that'll be fun.
Between the five of us.
Yes.
When you talk to him,
is it?
Because I had dinner with him, And I said to him, dude, I don't need to, like, I don't want to fanboy out on you, but listening to you talk, I get this Matthew McConaughey vibe off of you. And like, I'm sitting here, I'm having dinner with you, and I just expect you to be across the table doing this. And I was just, he was like, dude, he's like, I read his book. I listened to his audiobook. I think Matthew McConaughey is the greatest. I'm so happy that you said that to me. But like, that's the vibe that he gives off. Like, he is just he's this wellspring of just positive emotion.
And he's so knowledgeable. He's such a smart guy.
He is.
He doesn't come off like, like, oh, he's this, he's just great. He's so chill. Yeah,
he asked me questions about my business, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. He's like, hey, what is your blah 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 blah, your RSVP C2Q? And I'm like, I don't know what an RSVP C2Q is. What are you talking about? And he was like, oh, we'll figure it out for you. Don't worry.
It's so cool because he's tied into the detail thing besides having his product, and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool because he's able to relate with the detailers, which is really, really beneficial. I mean, I see so many more detailers here in Phoenix are now that I see are using his product. They were never using, and that I see that they follow me and I follow them, whatever. They're using his product on all levels. They're posting videos on their platforms. It's so cool. I remember when we had him on in the last podcast, and he was just getting started and getting introduced to the social media. He wasn't doing any social media when we had him on the podcast last. And it's so freaking awesome to see where he's gone and how well the product and how well it's gone on social media with the detail and how far it's spread. It's like gone like wildfire, man. It's just amazing. Yeah. And his product his product works amazing. I mean, I used to use ozone generators. I've done it all, dude. And I'll tell you, I've done but use his product on smoke removal, odor removal, and it is on point. And I have clients tell me, dude, that car smells absolutely incredible. Never come back saying, oh, I have a slight smell, I have this. And his product works the first time. And that's such a huge.
What's your favorite scent, Matt?
I liked the Ice Out for a while.
But your favorite is Dope Soap? I agree.
Dope Soap is probably going to be because for me, longevity, that's probably going to be my number one for longevity.
Phoenix Fahrenheit? Did you say Phoenix Fahrenheit? Yeah, that is the primo smell.
Yeah.
Aaron.
What?
Yeah, with Dope Soap. Amazing.
My
favorite.
Yeah, Dope Soap, totally.
Nothing. Mute your microphone. You.
I use them in the classroom. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah.
We can't have candles, and some kids are really sensitive to sprays and things. But I put bio bombs in one corner and in the other, and man, kids love it.
Because kids stink, and who cares what happens to them?
I can't wait. I haven't used or gotten his spray version. Eileen, have you used the spray already?
I just ordered it from what's his name?
Adrian.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think
Adrian.
I'm gonna.
That guy.
I want to try some because I've seen it and I'm like, I gotta get some because that would be nice. I'd like to see how that works.
Yeah, it's not the way I know it from what's been described to me. It's not long term.
Okay.
But what I told Adrian is I want it just to like give a little spray on the interior before the customer comes in to see the work because it just gives you that like.
Yep.
It just helps in the emotion that you feel when you get in and you're like, oh, new car and it smells so amazing and blah, blah, blah. And then it just dies in 5 minutes. And I don't care.
I agree.
It's just that initial that, like, look at your car. It's beautiful and it smells amazing.
So do 50-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there.
Kids don't care these days, man. They let them rip. They claim them. They're like, I did that.
Eileen is so disappointed in me right now.
No, I'm not. It's the third hour, so
yeah,
it's about right.
Thank you. Yes, this is definitely par for the course. So
awesome.
Cool.
Any other questions, Tyler, Aaron, Eileen? Any final thoughts from anybody? Any final wise wisdom. I always like, and we've done it before, is I always like to give the guest the opportunity to leave one final thought with the audience that they can take, they can apply it. It doesn't have to be something, or just a meaningful thought or something that they can take away, that they can implement. And that's something that I've always liked to do. And I think it's something I don't want to put you on the spot. So if you, if you don't feel like you have something, but just something you live by, or something that you can think of that's a great, whatever it may be, if it's a saying or a statement or something that you live by as an individual person, that you think other people could contribute or to implement. So
Eileen, I'm ready to rock and roll, but you have the floor if you want it first.
Please.
All right.
Go.
It's not a saying. It's not anything. I'm just going to say that in the spirit of what we're doing here, Matt, Christy, and Tyler, the fact that you are starting this podcast, that I believe that again, this would be a sister podcast to the Curmudgeon's Corner. We are a community. We are a family. I think that a lot of the same people that will support this show supports the Curmudgeon's Corner. And the fact that we are such a tight community, we all are facing our own demons, and nobody knows what we're going through. So it's very important that we reach out to each other. Just don't wait for somebody to reach out to you and say, I need help. But it's equally important to reach out to each other. If you haven't heard from somebody in a while, there are, like I said, over in the first, in the first half at Curmudgeon's Corner, there will be people that will check in on me every week. I haven't heard, Stephanie Devine from Divine Detailing. How's it going, champ? Just checking in on you. I haven't heard from you for a while. Like, those kind of things are really, really important. We are only as strong as our weakest member, and it's important that we look out for each other. We are brothers, we are sisters, we are family, and we need to look out for each other. Everybody struggles with their own demons. It doesn't have to be the same demon; it's their own demon. So let's just make sure that we continue to take care of each other. That's
absolutely.
it. The only reason why I do Curmudgeon's Corner is so that I have this interaction with my people.
Very, very well said, Aaron. I appreciate it. It's so true, and I think there's so many different things that we all deal with as individuals in our personal life or business, and sometimes it's nice to be able to feel like you can get somewhere and you can feel that you can relax and that you can enjoy yourself, and that you're in a comfort environment where people aren't judgmental or take offense to whatever it is, and sometimes it's nice to have that comfort area and that place to be able to do that. And you're right. I mean, a lot of us have our challenges and our demons and those things, and I think sometimes it's hard to deal with, and we have to find ways to adapt and to deal with them. So it can be very challenging and make things tough in our personal life and our work and whatever else activities that we're involved and engaged with. So very well said. I agree. I couldn't agree anymore with your statement. Eileen, would you like to share something, or I don't want you to feel like you're all put on the spot.
So much pressure. I feel like Aaron said everything that I was already thinking. I would say probably words of wisdom: promote the jobs you want and not always the jobs that you have, because that's what brings you the business. Outside of that, I wish you guys tremendous success on this podcast, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And yeah, it's super exciting.
I appreciate it, dude. It means a lot. You're incredible. Your work and your time, and like I said before, I love watching what you do on your business, and also on your podcast with Aaron. You guys do a great job. I love the interaction, the energy you guys bring. I mean, as it says, and you can speak and see on comments, and the people that are interacting speaks highly about your character and also Aaron. So we really appreciate you. Like I said before, we appreciate the support that you give us, and again, with you, we do nothing to support you and want you guys to continue to grow. And as we grow together, we make this big, amazing community that will be where everyone feels comfortable and everyone feels that they can feel that they can come in and ask questions, and whatever condition or whatever level they are, they're not going to feel intimidated to do that. So
Absolutely.
I think that's
I'd love to just echo Eileen. Congratulations. Your first podcast, X's and O's, in the books.
Love it.
Eileen has elevated, she has evolved Curmudgeon's Corner into something that is so much fun. It's so much fun. Matter of fact, she came in late the last episode. She came in late, and I was just like, I was struggling before you got there. And she was like, I know, I heard. Don't worry, I show up for you, baby bird. Don't worry. And so the reason why I even mentioned that is because you've surrounded yourself with two excellent people, and I want nothing but success for X's and O's, and the fact that you have an amazing team here. Eileen hit it on the head. Nothing but success. I can't wait to see what episode 2 holds. And obviously Christian is a fan favorite, and nothing but success for X's and O's. So congratulations on your first podcast in the books. Thank you so much for allowing Curmudgeon's Corner to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you.
It was an honor.
Thank you enough for all you guys do and that you guys can do. We continue to support you. We can't wait to have you back on the podcast.
Anytime.
And really
just do me solo without the
Oh yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll do solo.
That way I can tell you what soap I really have in my I don't have to feel so guilty about it.
Hey,
it's so gritty.
It's so watery.
It's so watery.
So
way to bring it full circle,
lame,
Christy.
so
Way to bring it full circle. So watery under my eyes. Oh my God. You have something for it?
Apex tears.
I know that a couple people have asked. I know Titan Detailing Products asked if we could share our Instagram. A lot of these guys and some of the people that are following that are on my Instagram are wanting to follow you guys and things like that, interact and stuff. So if you could share your Instagram, your social platform, so these people can do that, that would be awesome too, just so that they know where Eileen and Aaron, Phoenix, and all you guys, what the best places are for that.
I would love to show mine, but I can't type.
Interesting.
You can't.
All right.
I can't.
TheDetailsInMe.com.
That's YouTube.
All right.
And I don't know. IG is Kaylynne, KLYNNE Torres, TORRES.
Do you ever have a whole bunch of 8th graders like following you?
Oh, they try, but my rule is while I'm teaching them, like during the school year, I do not let any kids follow me. Once I don't have them in class anymore, once they go to high school, then I'll let them follow me. But they bug me.
It's a good policy to have.
Yeah. That's fair. So yeah, you can follow those guys. They're on Facebook, Instagram. I don't know, TikTok is one or no? Is that one that you guys do or no?
I am not a TikTok.
No, okay. So I know Eileen is on Facebook and social media with Instagram and TikTok, YouTube. So definitely go follow those. Myself with Xtra Mile Mobile Detailing, obviously we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Obviously now trying to build our podcast on YouTube. So if you can go and hit that subscribe button, that would be awesome. That would help us continue to grow and reach more and more people, which is definitely what we want to do and be able to build the detail community as quickly and as large as we can. So I think it's going to be fun. We look forward to having other detailers and other suppliers. We've got a whole chain of list of things that we plan on doing, and we're excited for all you guys to be a part of this journey with us. I know that there's a lot of work, but we are excited and ready to put the work in and to make it a fun place for everyone and an enjoyable and a welcoming and a comfort place where people can come in and chill and have fun. So I think that's what's important too. Tyler, your thoughts? I know Tyler is he's got.
I like fire.
Tyler?
No, I'm just super excited to be part of this, and I think everybody's going to love what we have planned, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you, Chris?
No, honestly, you guys have all hit it on the nail. I'm just excited to be here, and I appreciate you thinking that I'm a good fit. I hope I don't disappoint. I'm excited, and I am just ready to get this thing going. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here, and please continue to experience this journey with us. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. And guys, for me, I know it's an old saying that we use on an old podcast, but it's something I came up with that I really enjoy, and I always will continue to use it. I know Aaron's probably going to remember it. It's always do better and be better. That is a saying that I've always used. It's something that I will carry on with this podcast because it's something that means a lot to me. And it can be implemented in all aspects of your life and in your work or your activities or whatever it may be. So always be doing better and be better at all that you do, because it will bring, there's challenges, but as you continue to work hard, the results and the rewards will come. So guys, again, I personally want to thank all you guys for coming on. I think it's awesome. We can't wait for the journey and the experience that we're going to have. Like I said, I keep saying it, but Aaron, you're nothing but a scholar. I appreciate you. I admire you as a friend. I appreciate all the support and the love and the support that you have. It was an honor. I had the honors that those I've met Aaron and his brother when they're here in Phoenix, and it was an honor to go and have dinner with them. And they are truly, truly good people, and have a true good heart, and their intent is aligned where it needs to be. So, guys, if you haven't followed him and follow their podcasts and their social medias, please do. They are great people. Eileen as well. She's a scholar as well. Her work is incredible, and we appreciate her time and energy that she spends and invests with us and all that she does back for the community. So thank you both so much for all that you guys do, and we look forward to continue to work with you guys and to grow together as we go on this journey together. So we're looking forward to that. So guys,
hey, can I just do a shameless plug here real fast?
Absolutely.
No, definitely not.
Is not going to be 2 weeks from now. It's actually going to be 3 weeks from now. August is one of those weird months that has an extra week in it. But the reason why there's going to be such a long hiatus between corners is because next week I'm going out to Lubbock, Texas, with my brother. He's doing the Texas Cup. So Phoenix, our sponsor, our famous archer brother, will be competing out in Lubbock, Texas, and so I'm going to be in Texas instead of being able to do a curmudgeon's corner. So it'll be the 24th, and we're going to have Mike G from Mike G's Detailing. So I just wanted to do that shameless plug. Sorry about that.
Nope, you're good. Cool. Any final thoughts, guys? Hosts? Any comments? Any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. No.
Guys, thank you so much.
I'm going to go buy an RV.
Yes.
Yeah, I said it.
Buy an RV. Thank you. Thank you for joining, guys. It's been a pleasure. Guys, as always, happy detailing. Stay fresh out there, and we'll talk to you on the next show. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
That was fun. You're probably we're still live. You should probably cut that.